If you ask me what are my favorite art supplies, I have a very easy answer. Anything Tim Holtz. I love Tim Holtz supplies, and today I'm going to walk through some of my very favorites. Now, this is not sponsored. Tim Holtz has no idea who I am, nor should he, but I love all things Tim Holtz, from his Ranger line to his Sizzix line, and we're going to cover it all. So if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the buttons and the bells and all that YouTube-y stuff. And if you don't know who I am, hey there, I'm Gina. I'm the girl behind the Shabby Creek Cottage, and in this spot on the internet, we make fun art, not fun art. And today we're going to talk about art supplies. If you like all things art too, and you want to take all my free art classes, yes, they're all free, you can join me at the School of Fun Art. You can go to createwithchalk.com/School of Fun Art, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Alright, let's get to it. First, we're going to talk about distress crayons. So if you've never seen distress crayons before, they work very similar to oil pastels. They're a little more workable if you ask me, but if you've been scared to try oil pastels and you want something similar, these are a really good way to go about it. The thing I like about them is you can smudge them with your finger. They're also reactive with water, and you can use gel medium with them as well. So any kind of gel medium will work. You can use regular, you can use matte, you can use gloss, you can use whatever you want. Just going to use a little bit on my finger, and I'll show you that it will help to move them around. The difference between gel medium versus water is that gel medium has a longer work time than the water does. So this will dry pretty quickly and won't be workable as quickly. Sometimes, depending on the medium, like if I were to do another cut, once this medium has dried, if I do another color on top of it, it would not blend into the paper as much. This is watercolor paper that I'm using for all of these projects. So you'll be able to still see the marks from the pencil, or the crayon rather. That's not necessarily the case for all mediums though. If I were doing this on top of paint or on top of more gloss medium, the crayon marks wouldn't stay as much. So they're a really good way to add pops of color to things. It's also, you can just use them as they are and leave the marks if you want a way to add some marks of color to maybe your mixed media or your abstract. These are a really good way to get some of that color. You can also use them on jelly plates. You can use them tons of different ways. So I like the versatility of distress crayons because they're just fun to play with, honestly. And it's a really good way if you want to try oil pastels so that you can try them without as much fear. So for number 2, I'm pulling out my drop cloth because I like to work on a drop cloth with oxide sprays because that's what we're going to use next. Distress oxide sprays. These come in tons of different colors and different shades. I'm going to show you this blue and this green and kind of how they work together because it's very much like a spray in a pump bottle. Let me show you a little bit closer so you can see. But it's like a spray paint in a pump bottle, right? And you can spray your paper. Now you could just let this dry and have a burst of color, but if you add some water, it does all kinds of cool things, and you're able to take off bits and pieces if you choose to. You can take some off, and then you can layer them with another color on top. Let's add the green on top. And so if you just let that dry, just like that, that would be really cool. Or once again, we can go back with some water and let it bleed a little and give it time to do its little magic and dry. Once this is dried, it has really, really cool effects. And these are awesome for adding aging if you use the darker colors, like the smoke, the hickory smoke, or I think gathered twigs is a good brown one. but they react with water and they react with each other. So if you want to put a resist spray in between, you could totally do that. But if you do it this way, you get the spritz effect, which I really like. They're just really versatile. And I've used these on another project before. I did a specimen art canvas and I used these on that. And you guys really liked that video. So if you like that video, or if you want to play around with spritzing instead of brushing or scribbling, these are a really fun way. So next we're going to talk about embellishments, and inside of embellishments there's a huge array. You can get pieces like this that are like 3D. You can get paper pieces and little bits and bobs like this that look like vintage paper. You can also get rub-ons. These are rub-on notions. I really like these. I think they're beautiful. I also love these little word stickers because they're little quotes. This one is from Halloween from last year. If you can find the Halloween packs, man oh man. These are stickers, but they have quotes as well as tickets and other embellishments, and they're just a lot of fun to add in to your collages or to add on to your pieces if you want to give it a little hint of a word without a bunch of muss and fuss. These are perfect for that. There's some snarky ones, there's some sweet ones, like this one says, I wish my life had background music so I could understand what the heck is going on. I don't know where all this crap about me being a difficult person is coming from. Like, there's some really funny ones, there's some really cool ones, and there's just lots of options. He also has a jewelry line, which I've already used all my pieces from there. I need to go get some more. But he also has a jewelry line, and I use those a lot of times as embellishments in junk journals, and those are a lot of fun. So embellishments, I always look for his embellishments, especially at the holiday season, because he has really, really cool ones that make your holiday projects a lot of fun. Next are these Distress Oxide ink pads. Now, he does have inks and oxides. I prefer the oxides. They work pretty similar to the oxide sprays. However, I like the fact that you can do a little bit more with them. I like these as well as these little blenders that he makes as well. Set that out of my way. I like these blenders that he makes. I buy these in a huge bulk pack on Amazon, so you can find them there. But you can blend these colors to go together. So if you choose to, you can get some ink on your pad, and you can add some to your paper, right? It's a light color, so I don't know if it's going to show up very well. I do know the blue will, because I've used it a bajillion times. It's a really pretty blue. But they are water reactive as well. So if you spray them with water, they're going to react and they're going to move and they're going to do different things. And once again, you can blot it up and you can create different effects. You can also, you can go in and add a little bit more so that if you wanted to, and it will give you a little bit different effect. You can layer these on top of each other, but they will give you variations of the color once you've applied some water, and it gives it that oxide effect. These are really, really cool inks, and I love the long work time of them. It is not a super quick. I know these are like a really light color. It's almost, it kind of reminds you of cotton candy. You could even, by the way, I'm just thinking out loud as I'm sitting here, you could even take this and leave it as it is. It does remind me very much of cotton candy, and do a cutout and make yourself a little paper cone, and this would be super cute on a card or in a journal, to have the effect of cotton candy. Look how pretty that is. And it's just some ink and some water, but you get the variations. Let me see if I can get really close. You get the variations of the color because of the water, and you don't get that necessarily on its own. So, you know, with a traditional ink pad like a StazOn or whatever, it goes on and then you're done. Like, there's no work time on top. But if you wanted to do this, you could go back and stamp on top of it. So if you had a cotton candy stamp, for instance, you could go back once this paper is dry with some StazOn and like ink on top of it, and that would be really cool too. So I love these. I also use I'll show you this. I use the darker ones. These are the two that I keep. I have two rooms. I have one where I have a lot of storage, and then I have one where I actually record videos like I am right now. And these two stay where I record videos because I use them all the time. You've probably seen me use them before. I use Gathered Twigs, which is a brown, and then I use Black Soot, which is black. And I use this a lot to distress the edges of things. You've probably seen me do this motion. I do it on canvases, I do it on paper, I've even done it on wood before. I do this a lot because it really does add extra dimension to a project that you don't get unless you add ink. So, by the way, I'm gonna pull another piece of paper just so that I can show you. You can also go straight from your pad to the paper if you wanted to. If you just wanted like some pink and then add your water to make it react, you can do that as well. So there's lots of cool videos on YouTube, and maybe I'll do a video myself on things that you can do with these products. But these oxide inks, I have no less than 40 colors. Like, this is just, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 18 in this, and I have probably 3 or 4 of these full. So I probably have more like 50 or 60 colors of this ink. It is my absolute favorite. I even use the black to do the stamping on top sometimes because I prefer it to StazOn. It's easier to get off of my stamps and clean off of my stamps later. So there you go. So the last one I wanted to mention are these die cuts, and I love Tim Holtz die cuts. Like, the design and the intricacies, even like these laces, they're beautiful for adding. These are perfect. You could even make a little paper wreath. These are like greenery for the holidays, really pretty. He even has some that are like stamp and die. They're not sold together normally, but you can buy a set of stamps and a set of dies that match, and he does that really, really well. But what I want to show you is, so I'm going to use the little guy. I don't have the big one yet. I'm going to get it soon. It's on my to-do list. But remember this piece that we made? I've dried it so that you can see. And I'm going to cut this tag out of it. It would be really pretty as cotton candy, but imagine this as a cotton candy tag. And so I'm going to just take a pair of scissors and kind of cut very close to what I want. And then I'm going to trim this because I don't need this much extra. And now I can fit this inside of the die plates. So you just stack this together, and I have found it is way easier if I just stack it one on top of the other. Put it like this, stack them one on top of the other like so. And then you are going to feed them through the machine. And it will crack and it will pop, but I promise it's not gonna break. Now we have a die cut. Look how pretty that is. Let me see if I can show you how pretty that is. A little cotton candy colored tag, and it's awesome. He also even has these little embossing sleeves, so if you wanted to, you could go back on top of this and we could add a little embossing to it. So I love this little kit. I actually found the Sidekick at, I think, a Tuesday morning. Man, oh man, can I just tell you, Tuesday morning for the win in the discount craft section. I have found so many great finds there, and this was one of them. And I think I might have paid like 15 bucks or something like that for this. It was really, really cheap. This is a thinner plate, so we're gonna run it through like this. Yeah, this will work now. I was about to say something is wrong. But once you pull it off, I'm gonna pull it off of there. You see the embossed parts? I think you can. So it does some really cool stuff. There's a lot of functionality to this. And then if you wanted to go back and cut out a HI, like that would be really cool too. So you could just take your letters now and go back over it again, and you could put a monogram here. You could do all kinds of things, or you could stamp on top of it as well. So lots of really cool options, and I like this guy. He has a bigger one called the Vagabond. This is called, I think, the Sidekick. I like the Sidekick. It's really small though, so if you want to use bigger pieces like these, you're gonna need a Big Shot or a Vagabond to do those bigger ones with, but they're also a lot of fun. So that's it. Some of my favorite Tim Holtz products. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit all the buttons and do the things. If you have questions, you can leave them below. And if you have requests or suggestions for things that you want to see me compare and give you my thoughts on, let me know in the comments as well, and I will add them to my list. So, hope you have a fabulous day, and thanks so much for watching.